from Clos Mont Blanc, and I understand that we've got new labels this year, Dani.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
We changed the labels. Hopefully people will recognize them because of the brand. But well, we try to improve them to make them look nicer. And the idea is that the design, it wants to emulate a topographic map, okay, in different colors. So
absolutely love
them
them
like
myself. I do. I think they're fabulous. So nicely done. So over to you, sir. I'm sure you have something planned.
I'm sorry about that. It's for me.
Please just go ahead as planned. I didn't mean to throw you a curveball with the label concept.
Excellent. Okay. Well, my name is Daniel, and I'm responsible for Asian and American markets at Clos Mont Blanc. And well, thank you for offering us the opportunity to talk for a while about our winery. I'm really glad to introduce also Josep Vadri. He's our winemaker. He's here with us also. And Josep has been in our winery for more than 30 years, producing Mont Blanc 362 wines. And he will be happy to answer any of your questions when I finish this small introduction. To start, let me explain you about our location and climate. Our winery is located northeast of Spain, 5 minutes away by car from Mont Blanc village in Conca de Barberà region. This is in Tarragona province. We are as well 30 minutes away from the Mediterranean Sea and 1 hour from Barcelona city that I am sure you know very well. Mont Blanc is a medieval town surrounded by a wall, and we have many tourists visiting all around the year. Conca de Barberà region is located 362 meters above the sea level. Like our wine brand indicates, Mont Blanc 362. And Conca, the name Conca, that comes from Conca da Barberà, means basin. And this region, carved out from the Francolí and Anguera rivers, is surrounded and protected by mountains. Therefore, our climate is Mediterranean with continental influence. Our winters are around 2 degrees centigrade and summers reach up to 30 degrees. The rainfall in our area is about 656 millimeters per year, enough to achieve the necessary irrigation for the vineyards. What makes our territory and our wines unique, we could summarize it in a few words. The first would be our history. The second would be our location, soils, and climate. And the third, our indigenous grapes and the capacity we have to adapt the international grape varietals in our region. And definitely the most important one, the extensive knowledge and know-how of our winemaker. Regarding our history, it all started with the arrival of the Romans to the Iberian Peninsula 2,000 years ago. The tradition of winemaking continued with the Cistercian monks 1,000 years ago, along with the monastic legacy that they left us. The philosophy and heritage that they left us still remains in the spirit of Clos Mont Blanc wines. Chardonnay family owns the winery and began making wines 300 years ago. It all started in a small farmhouse from the 18th century at an altitude of 700 meters and surrounded by vineyards, and which is still preserved. Actually, you can see the picture here behind me. And in 1988, Chardonnay family decided to professionalize this family tradition by creating a new winery, renovating an old cooperative and built, which was built actually very close to Mont Blanc town. As to our soils, the winery owns about 80 hectares, and they are located in 4 different areas around our winery. The diversity of microclimates allows us to grow each variety of grape in the area where the strain can express all its character and personality. We enjoy a great variety, a great diversity of soils, calcareous, clayey, areas rich in fossils, along with a great diversity of textures. According to the soil, altitude, and temperature, our winemaker, Josep, over the years has found the best location for each variety in order to bring out its greatest potential and get the right wine. As for our grape varieties, in our winery, we have more than 12 different grape types. Our red wines are produced from the indigenous grapes Trepat, Grenache, Tempranillo, and Carignan, along with the international varietals Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, and Merlot. Our white wines are based on the smoothness and of the traditional Macaveo and Parellada, blended with foreign varietals like Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc to add acidity and balance. And our rosé wine is made from the traditional Tempranillo, Trepat, and Pinot Noir, which is produced following a unique fermentation technique called cascade, which makes our wine especially refreshing and aromatic. And finally, our cava is made with the local and traditional Macaveo, Xarel·lo, and Parellada grapes. Our wines in Opimium's offer go from number 2462 to 2471. It is a total of 10 wines, of which 2 are white wines, 1 is rosé, 6 are red wines, and 1 cava. I would like to talk very briefly about 3 wines that we selected for this small event. The first one is the 2463, and is this wine. I'm not sure if you can see very well the label here. Probably you can see it in the catalog. This is the Macaveo Chardonnay 2020. Okay, and well, as you know, Conca de Barberà is known for its sparkling cavas. That is why the traditional Macaveo grape is widely planted in our region. Our winemaker combines it with a 40% of Chardonnay. Actually, for this wine, we have been increasing our production every year due to its great success among customers. As you can see, it has a pale yellow color, and this vintage has fresh aromas of apple and grapefruit. It is medium-bodied with notes of peach and tropical fruits, with a citrus touch at the end. And the second wine that we selected is the number 2468, Mont Blanc 362, Garrut Trepat 2020.
So many people won't know that Garrut is also considered Monastrell. It'll be, it's in the catalog to that effect. But if you could tell us about the general sense of that it tends to be a medium-bodied or a full-bodied red. Is that correct?
Well, actually, Garrut is a name that we use it in Tarragona, and I believe there is some other region in Catalonia that we use it, but it's a quite local name, okay? And as you said, it has the name, is the same, it's Monastrell, okay? Actually, this wine with 2 grape varietals, which are very, very typical from Conca de Barberà, and especially Trepat, it's a wine with aromas of black cherry and violet. It's a medium to full-bodied with dark fruit flavors of black currants and cherries. And it is a young wine with soft tannins, which has great fruit on the mid palate. So it's a wine which is very refreshing. And then, the last one that we selected is the 2466, and it's the Mont Blanc 362 Selection 2018. And I have heard that this I have heard that is one of James Master's favorite wines in one of her videos. And this wine has aromas of sweet black fruits, blueberries, and black currants. It is soft and round on the palate with a fine velvet texture, with flavors of black sherry compote, vanilla, and a touch of smoke. It has a long aftertaste. It is produced from grapes of 20 to 30 years old vines, and it is a blend of 4 grapes, which are Merlot, Grenache, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Carignan. It has been in oak for 16 months, actually French and American barrels, and it pairs very well mainly with red meats because it has a quite powerful flavor. And from my side, this is it. I don't know if you have any question.
And Daniel, there was one question. If we go back to 2468, the Garut Clapat, do you know what the percentages of those 2 varietals are in that wine?
Oh my God. Right now, probably I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know if Josep can help me with that. Probably it would be about 40, 60.
And it's Garut forward, is it?
I'm sorry about
that. There's more Garut than there is Trepat.
Yeah,
yeah, it's listed first. Yes. Oh, there he is, Josep.
Yeah. Josep?
I don't.
Well, we cannot hear.
I think he's told us, but we don't know yet. So
probably.
More Garut than Trepat.
Yeah, there he is. There, we heard that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Josep.
I am here. I am here. It's more in the wine.
Yeah, the connection is bad. So if you could type it in your chat, that would be excellent, even if it's in Spanish.
Okay, I think we have a problem with the connection.
Yes, that's true. We'll just keep going. Daniel, did you have anything else to add with regard to your others?
I hear. It's not possible to speak.
No.
Okay. Well, then let's see if he improves the connection. From my side, this is it. I mean, if you have any question, I will be glad to answer.
Yeah, that's great. And there are no questions in the chat right now, but everybody, please feel free to do so. And we'll move along, and then we'll come back around to speak to all of you, Daniel, at the end. We'll give people, we'll open it up for questions and the floor for questions. So
great.
Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So the next is, again, for our first year with us is the Montenegro group, and Maria. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I'll let you do that for me, Maria. But please go ahead.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, opinion. Well, I'm Maria Urrutia from Vinos and Vinedos, Montenegro. It's a first time here, and we're very pleased to be here, and that opinion has allowed us and invited us to be here. Who is Vinos and Vinedos Montenegro? It's a small project which we started. I started a few years ago back in Spain. My family has always been involved in the wine industry. I decided with a small team, with a winemaker and other producers, to produce wines from Spain and make them known worldwide, to show the essence of how Spanish wines are and the great variety we have in our country. So we do not have a proper winery, one winery. We work with small producers and wineries in different parts of Spain. So what I would do is present you the selection of wines which have been chosen for opinion, and this way you will see the diversity we have. So Firstly, I was going to start with maybe what is most known from Spain, which is Rioja wine region, which is in the north part of Spain, let's say in the middle, up north, near to, maybe you'll know the port Bilbao, which is, so it's a big down there. So from there, what we have, it's Viña Lobera, which I'm not sure you can see it, but maybe you've seen it. It's a white label with an image of a donkey and a hand, which represents how the traditionals and the classic way of producing wine, how in Rioja it was done, it's all manual harvest. And back before we had all the harvest was done with the donkeys. So we're going to Rioja, the classic essence, and that's what we represent on our labels. In Rioja, we work with autochthonous grapes, which are mainly the red grapes. We've got the Tempranillo grape, then we have Garnacha and Graciano, and then for the white grapes, we will have Viura. For opinion, we have selected, you have 3 wines from Rioja, and there's lots 2475, 2476, and 2477. We start with, you will have a rosé, which is a pale rosé made with 70% Viura, and then a small percentage of Tempranillo and Garnacha. This is a fresh rosé, which goes with all appetizers. It's got fruity, it's got acidity, it invites you to drink, and on all this sunny days, I can see on some of the pictures of some of you which are outside and laying on the terraces you're having right now. So it's a great wine to have nowadays. And then you can move on to the Viña Lobera Gran Reserva, which is the 2477, which is a Gran Reserva. By Gran Reserva, it means this wine has been aged for 5 years in aging cellars, 24 months barrel aging, a combination of French and American oak, mainly American oak, but a small percent of French oak barrels, and then 3 years in bottle prior it's released into the market. Tempranillo grapes, these are wines, it's a classic Rioja style. You find the fruit and you find the oak barrel, but it all has got a very good assemblage. And with smooth tannins, and these are wines which are ready to be drunk now, and wines you can store and have a long aging capacity. That's the Rioja style.
So in the Mezzuelo grape, I'm not familiar with it. Why do you add that to the blend? What does it add to that blend?
It adds because the Tempranillo mainly is the Tempranillo, and it's the great variety in Rioja. But you need sometimes to add other grape varieties to give it the smooth and the touch and the fruit flavor, and more the red aromas from the red fruits that we find, and the black fruits. It's to liven up a bit the Tempranillo. Tempranillo is an excellent grape, and it's one that gives you the aging capacity, but you need the other grape varieties to liven up a bit the wine.
Right. It's very rare that we get to purchase a 2014, so one that's already been in bottle that long. I love that, being able to get something that you've already done the cellaring for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the part that it's hard for everyone to understand, but really we do all the cellaring for you, for everyone in that's what Rioja, we have to do that on a classic Rioja style, and that's what we do with the Viña Lobera. And of 2014 is an excellent vintages, and it's turning out excellent, these wines. I will invite everyone to drink it and to understand the Rioja style.
And I have another question. A question came up from Sandra about the sugar level in the rosata. So in your rosato, Do you
Yes.
know, Grant, it's dry, I would suggest?
It's dry. It's very.
Okay.
It's dry. It's
Okay.
dry. It has. It's not fruity. It's not sugary. No, it's
Right.
dry white.
Great.
And then as we are in Rioja, we are in the north of Spain. I said Montenegro. What we do is we travel through Spain because it's a great country for wine production. So we move now over to Galicia, which is northwest part of Spain, very Atlantic climate. But maybe you know more, it's the Albarino grapes, but we're not using none of those. We've got here Villanova, which is the 2473 and 2474 lot numbers. So here we are on vineyards, which are very pronounced terraces, slate. The soil is very slate. So we've got two grape varieties. The red variety we use, it's the Mencía. So we've got 100% Mencía, and then we've got a white wine, which is 100% Godello. I don't know if you're familiar to these varieties over in Canada. We can say the Mencía it produces, and this one you're gonna have, the Villanova Mencía. It's very Atlantic, it's a very fresh, it's a very crispy wine, and you've got and you find all this through the slate of the terraces and the soil where we are. It's a very easy wine to drink, but very complex and with very low tannins. And with the Godello, it's Godello, Godello, it's different names. Maybe you've heard both of them.
Yes, I've pronounced it both ways.
Yeah, but you can pronounce, yeah, that's the thing with it.
Yeah.
It's a powerful, concentrated white grape, but very fresh, which is it's powerful and gives you refreshing, and we could compare it maybe with a Chardonnay, but with much more structure, but acidity, and all this due to the terraces where we are and the region where we are. And it's a great wine, the same, the white wine, great wine for this nice, bright and sunny days you are having, and we expect to have now also back here in Europe.
I just had a conversation a couple of days ago with a master of wine on Facebook Live. If those of you that didn't see that one, Louise Wilson, she's a Canadian MW. She's written an article on page 45 about these indigenous Spanish grapes. And then also we did this, and she talked about this being more, the Godello being more like a Chablis type Chardonnay than one that's gone through the change. I'm losing it. What's it called? It starts with M. The secondary fermentation that makes it buttery. What's that called? Malolactic. Thank you, Paul Barnes. I appreciate it. You saved me. That's great. Yes, malolactic. So this one doesn't, right? The Godello doesn't have that buttery mouthfeel, right? It's very much more acidic and sharper.
It's acidic and straightforward, and you have no battery, and it's more acidic. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
And last but not least, we've got the 2472 Medianías. So here we were in Spain, but Spain, the country, we have two islands. We've got the islands which are in the Mediterranean, and then we've got the islands which are down in the Atlantic, which is the Canary Island. So here on Tenerife, which is maybe one of the famous because you've got a volcanic, we've got the Teide, which is a volcanic. We produce Medianías, which is a wine produced with an autochthonous grape called Listán Negro. And also, these are pre-phylloxera vineyards, and the peculiarity, it's a TRES vines, which is they are cordon. It's not the vines normally as you see bush vines, which go down from. They go cross onto each other, like the TRES. I don't know how you say it. Cordon negro, cordon. And very on Mediania, so we are in Canary Island, very Atlantic climate, powerful, but we've got this very volcanic soils. It's true volcanic. I really invite everyone to go because it's really strange soils and different of what we all think about when we are thinking of vines and plots. It's dark soils, black, and you find yourself, when I was there, I found myself, maybe I was on the moon. It's completely different to what we think. So it's got a black fruit. It's very balsamic and crispy and creamy, but it's got the end a slit of bitterness. Very different style wine, but something very unique and special for many reasons, where it's made for the vines which are more than 80 years old, the type of grape Listan Negro, small production, very unique and different.
Very exciting. Thank you very much. I'll see if there are any questions for you, Maria. Nothing at the moment. So again, we'll keep you on board if you don't mind sticking around till the end. And there may be some questions by then, but thank you very much. As I said before we came live, that because it's our first year with you, I don't have any of your wines to try. So I'm looking forward to ordering all of the different SKUs and giving them a try when they arrive. And I always, obviously, if Jane likes them and has selected them, I've got no worries when I order them. I know they're going to be good. And certainly these will be unique. And everybody I talk to about we having a wine from the Canary Islands for the first time, everybody's quite excited. I think we're going to all have to go and visit as a bunch of opinions. We'll just go to the island together.
Yeah.
So,
please do come. It's very amazing. I really think everyone should come and visit it and see it through the eyes.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you. So we will we'll move along to Josep Ferrer, and he's here representing the Miranda wines. And are you there, sir? I believe
Yes,
I
sir.
saw him earlier. There you are. Thank you very much. And over to you. Off you go.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for logging on today. This is a really cool event. And I have to say, I admire the club you guys have put together and how you come together in the name of good wines. It's something very interesting. My name is Josep Ferrer Miranda, and I'm the 6th generation of my family's wine business. Our roots are in the Vinedos region, which is in Catalonia, near Barcelona. But wine has taken us around Spain and around the world, really, in a way that's really just kind of defined our lives. The wineries I'm going to present today, we've been involved with since the 90s, but the tradition behind some of them goes much farther back than that. I'm going to be talking about Bodegas Cellar, which is in Rioja, Bodegas Valdubon, which is in Ribera del Duero and Rueda. Tongue twister there.
Well, you say it much better than I do.
Can't imagine. Not easy. And Bodegas Vionta in the Rías Baixas. Another interesting term. Starting with Cellar, the terroir and the winery. This is the oldest of the 3 wineries. It was founded in 1937, which is an interesting start date, seeing as I was in the middle of the Spanish Civil War. So started under extenuating circumstances in the most well-known region in Spain, probably, as you know, with long-standing links to Bordeaux to the north. Cellar specifically is located in La Rioja Alavesa, which is one of 3 subzones of Alta, Baja, and Rioja Alavesa. We're in the town of La Guardia. The area has a ton of history, and I think that really impregnates all of the wines. Literally the oldest Spanish texts ever are from this area. The whole place is littered with archaeological sites, a lot of them linked to wine, a lot of them from before Roman times, because it's just one of those magic regions for growing grapes. We have a lot of south-facing vineyards, sort of from the mountains down to the river with great drainage, with rain and sun at the right times, and a lot of both. And the main geographical feature for us, and as is a sort of common thread for a lot of these regions, is the Sierra de Cantabria, the mountains. They dominate the landscape to the north. They protect the area from the northerly winds in our region. And I think they really define the microclimate that makes the wines what they are. Speaking of the wines, we could get into them. We're offering Solar Viejo and Orube from Bodegas Solar Viejo. Solar Viejo is sort of the original brand of the winery, and with it, we want to embody the real tradition and the classic Rioja style. We're offering 200% Tempranillo wines. The Solar Viejo Tempranillo, which would be number 2512, is 100% Tempranillo, no barrel, just stainless steel tank fermentation to really bring the grape to the forefront. And it's all about that varietal character. Then we have Solar Viejo Crianza, number 2513 on your catalog. That's 12 months in oak. You have the traditional grape with the sort of very traditional crianza, which means aging in oak, mostly French, some American oak. And moving on from Solar Viejo, I don't have any bottles to show you, but I do have some bottles of Orube.
But I do have one of the Solar.
Thank you.
That's what I'm bringing. And
Welcome.
2 years older. It's the 2018, and we're selling the 20 right now of the end. This is not for long-term cellaring. Like, I'm not going to keep it 10 years, but certainly 2 years in, it's very nice. And I actually did a video a couple of weeks ago where I did this incredible burger called an Ethos Burger that worked really, really well with this Solar Viejo. So thank you for that. And I'm not playing favorites. I don't have any Montenegro, and all of my Clos Mont Blanc is all gone. I drank it all, so I don't have any. So
Just a coincidence.
Yes, exactly. Go ahead.
Fantastic. Well, so thanks for that. Thanks for that, because I don't have the Solar with me, but I do have the Orube. And fun fact, Orube means solar in Basque, which means an open field, which is kind of like our little homage to the past. But with this wine, we really wanted to take a more modern direction and to really let our winemaker, Vanessa Insausti, sort of do what she felt and experiment. I'm working on this one right now. And so this one's number 2514, the Orube Crianza. And we've seen a lot of exciting red blends, at least that I like a lot, around the world. And we wanted to do one in Rioja, bringing something a little different to the table. This one's a blend of Tempranillo, Graciano, and Garnacha. The ratios are going to vary year to year based on the needs of the wine and the harvest. But for this one that we're offering, I believe we're doing, it's 70% Tempranillo, 20 of Graciano, and 10% of Garnacha. The wines are all vinified separately and blended based on their qualities. And that for us is very important, to focus on the blend with this one and really giving Vanessa free reign to do what she believes is going to be best for the final product. This is ready to drink now, but also with cellaring potential through 25. And we're also offering it in a Magnum 1.5 liter. That's number 2515, which I personally love. That's one of my favorite party tricks, is to break out the giant 1.5. That always gets a good reaction.
It's a crowd pleaser, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a lot of fun. So that's an option. And then moving on and moving through these, because I have a few, we have Orube Selección de Familia. That means the family selection. This is our favorite, as you can imagine. It's number 2517. It's very special to us. It's all with grapes from our single estate, the Los Molinos vineyard. 100% Tempranillo, 100% single vineyard. The vineyard is south-facing at 650 meters altitude. It's right on the edge of the mountains I was telling you, the Sierra de Cantabria. So it's a prime spot with some of the best drainage and the most sun sort of above the valley fog that tends to stick around the area. And this one you could drink now too, but this has a lot of cellaring potential. You could keep it even through 2030. It's a limited edition. We don't make a lot of these, and you see the number on there. You'll know what order it came out in.
Really cool.
And thank you. So moving on to Bodegas Valduon, a little bit about that. It's another historical wine region. I'm talking about Ribera del Duero and Rueda. Ribera del Duero, very famous for its reds. A lot of big name wines have come out of there, especially in the last 20 years. But they've been making great wines there for a very, very long time, and I'm talking about centuries. The same thing in Rueda, but for whites, and the Verdejo variety, which is famous for. We're talking about pretty high elevation, 750 to 950 meters here, a lot of sun, about 2,400 hours of sun per year. Somewhere like Bordeaux would get 2,000, somewhere like Napa would get 3,600. So right in the middle there, a lot of sun, but a lot of contrast. Hot summers, definitely hot summers, and freezing cold winters are sort of what it's known for. You might have heard this, it got Region of the Year in Wine Enthusiast back in 2012. That was very big, and sort of the cat got out of the bag that this is really a hidden gem. Not hidden anymore, but it was for a while. So we're offering a few from our winery. We have Valdubon Roble, it's number 251. I don't have a bottle on me, but that's 100% Tempranillo. Just a touch of oak, which is what Roble means, 4 months to be precise. It's going to be a medium-bodied red, and it's ready to drink, ready to cellar too, maybe for 2 or 3 years until 2025. Then moving on, we have a fun bottle here, the Me and You. This is one of my favorite, just easy drinkers. I love to drink this just by myself with a book or something. It doesn't really even need food. It's a fresh young wine, very fruit forward, no oak, and 100% Tempranillo, and a cute little label that I like a lot.
Great name too.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And then we have a Verdejo as well. We're offering the Verdejo number 2509. It's 85% Verdejo, 15% Jura, 2 classic Spanish white grapes. This is going to be a very dry, slightly acidic white with no oak, ready to drink now, and just that fresh, kind of crisp Verdejo that Rueda is known for.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
been
moving
very
on,
popular.
and very good, yes. We have Bodegas Vionta. That's going to be in Galicia. We heard a little bit about Galicia already in the northwest corner of Spain. It's the birthplace and the home of Albarino, and that's what we're offering. It's a unique area. It's a very unique area in Spain and in the world. It's known for its rias, which are kind of like fjords or tidal rivers that flow either direction with the tide, and where a lot of the fishing and like raising of seafood is done. And these fjords are side by side with the fields in the Val do Salnés, the Valley of the Salnés, where we grow our grapes. So the wines and the seafood just really, it's grown there side by side. And I think you really notice this in the interaction between the food and the wine, seafood specifically. We get a lot of rain there, rain most of the year, good sun for ripening in the summer. But there are also other sort of strategies for ripening. We train a lot of the vines on granite pergolas, sort of structures to keep them off the ground and get more sun to them. That's very typical of this region. The wines are known for the minerality, and I think that comes from the soil. And I think the proximity of the sea has an effect too. And that sort of co-development of the local cuisine with the fish and the wine, and it's all happening right there. If you go there, I mean, it's a lot smaller than you might imagine. It's interesting, these villages sort of right on the coast there. And yeah, just wrapping up, the wine itself that we have from Vionta is the You and Me. It's the You and Me to the Me and You. It's sort of a line of wines that we've done. The whole line is sort of designed to be fruit forward and kind of younger wines. For this one, it's 100% Albarino. It's fruit forward. We hand harvest in small 16 kilo boxes to minimize oxidation. So to get that really clean finish. We macerate the grapes with the lees, which is a little bit different than maybe some places might do. This is something we inherited from other wineries, really, and from making cava specifically. But we think that the macerating with the lees, which is the leftover yeast from the fermentation, enhances the mouthfeel and brings sort of more texture or a different kind of texture to it. So we like that. For similar reasons, we use cement vats to vinify a lot of this, and that's mainly for the varietal character.
And why don't you describe that a bit, Josep? The Albarino is not one that I had tried until about 10 years ago, and I was just so pleased with it. I just absolutely love it. Do you want to just describe the general sense of like a general tasting note about Albarino, and even specifically this wine?
Yeah, I'd say Albarino it has that minerality. That's a big part of it. It's quite dry, but also with fruit on it. So I think it has a good balance there with the acidity and the fruit forwardness of it. And it's amazing with seafood, definitely. And I'm a big fan of it with spicy food as well, which is part of the local cuisine there. Local pimientos de padrón that they grow, but I digress.
And is that what's the alcohol level on that? Because I find with heat, you want it to be fairly low. Is it 11 or 12 or?
No, it's 13.
It is 13, yeah, and it still works well with heat, eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah. Okay, great. And what I think you described that perfectly in that I really like Albarino for its acidity, but it's also got that fruitiness, so it doesn't have that hard edge acidity. It's kind of got that rounder edge on the end, which I really like. So I've always loved that. I did want to go back to 2517, which you mentioned. That's your Familia. There are only 30 cases left, everybody, so you'll want to rush to that one. We have more than 30 people on the call today, so make sure you get that in. Don't be disappointed. And I believe we've already upped that from the original offering. So thank you for doing that for us, Josep.
No problem.
Any questions from anybody for anybody? Or sorry, are you finished, Josep? You had said finally. So yeah, that's what I thought. So and mouthfeel and some bubbles. So and Albarino, I think the mouthfeel does, you can sometimes get some effervescence, but certainly not it's not a sparkling wine by any stretch, right? Of the Albarino. You wouldn't make a sparkling with Albarino, I don't think. No. So well, I see.
Not that I know of.
Right. Yeah. And I see, Danielle, you've turned your camera back on. Thank you. And Maria, and the two Joseps are here with us. Thank you very much. Any other questions from anybody? It's only 3:45 here. We've done well getting through this many wines. Thank you, everybody. That's worked out really well. It's always terrific for us opinions to get a better sense of it, because when they get this great big catalog, they always say, man, like, I don't know what to order. So these Cellars in a Snap make a big difference to be able to hear directly from you guys about your wines and which one and how to buy, because everybody's got their favorites. But to the opinion members, you'll also notice that we do the Cellar Up feature now every offering, and that's about stretching your interests. And what I found was I was always just a heavy red drinker when I drank wine, and then when I started taking wine lessons, I would actually start to understand wines and how they fit in different ways, so that you can use a rosé for drinking on the back porch and that sort of thing. So on page 42 of this, you'll see the Cellar Up feature, so that if you wanted to try another style, we make a recommendation for you to buy a style like that as well. So anything else, Nikki? That's not a question. So I think we are all set. So everybody's going to go back to their beautiful day. And thank you so much for your evening, for taking some time in your evening in Spain for us, all of you, for your presentations. And thank you, Anais, for arranging this and monitoring and operating from the back end there. Really appreciate it. So thank you all. And we will see you next time. And any questions after this, please do feel free to send them through and we will get them over to the presenters. So thanks a lot, everybody, and have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.